Alright guys, so welcome back. This is going to be a longer video just to give you guys a heads up. It's going to be an overview of what we got going on with this SR120 AIO. So basically what that is, a 120 gallon tank. It's an all-in-one, so there's back chambers that have pumps and hold the filtration and stuff like that, so there's nothing underneath as far as the tank goes. I did go ahead and get two pretty cool products. Number one being these bubblers you can kind of see over here. Yeah, right there. So I got one in this corner. It's just a sponge filter and they're hooked up to a bubbler underneath. I'll show you guys the bubbler later. That's just going to be the other product from Higer, and this is from Co-op Aquarium. So there's one. I put it in left corner. Kind of blends in. It's black, and I got the black airline tubing to kind of go with it. So I'm liking it. And I just have it up at the top where it's kind of making bubbles. But anyways, yeah, the shrimp are able to kind of get close to that, pick off all the food or debris that gets eaten inside of there. So this is only day 2 of having it. I don't expect it to clear up the tank or anything crazy. I just wanted a safer way to filter the tank. So what I ended up doing was, this tank actually comes with 3 pumps. And I did some maintenance the other day, and I found out through here, even though I ordered, let's see if I can get a better angle. I ordered special shrimp filters off of Etsy. I can leave a link in the comments for this guy, and he makes these so that baby shrimp don't get through. Well, it was too, I'll try to just be as fast as I can about this, but it was basically too, okay, sorry. So it was just a little bit too big, I guess you could say. Or actually, you know what? Sorry. The holes were too small, and the thing itself, the blocking mechanism, basically, so shrimp don't get back, it covered all of the area for the water to flow through. So basically, long story short, the water's not flowing through. So what did I do? I contacted him on Etsy. He was really cool. He gave me some advice, and he said to go ahead and put some thumbnail tack, or yeah, some thumbtacks, and kind of just poke holes. Well, what ended up happening was right here, it kind of broke, and that's not his fault at all. You know, I was probably just putting way too much force, and you could see the little holes to make it a little bit more so flow went through. But even then, either A, the water was just not filtering through, and the whole tank was getting so full that this net on top, you could see the water kind of like going out, you know, like it was going to overflow. And thankfully it never did, but I just wasn't comfortable having the water there. Plus the net started to get green. You can kind of see over here, look, the net started to get green from the algae on the water, and it had a nasty film on top. Now it's not really doing that because of the bubblers, thankfully, or the sponge filters. But anyways, so yeah, that was kind of a problem for me. So what I ended up doing was I turned off the middle pump, and I kept the left and the right pump on, and then as you can see, the flow has stopped on these, right? There's no flow, okay? And we got flow barely coming out of these. It's just the lowest setting possible, right? Very, very low setting. And what I did was, when I did that, it kind of created like a stale kind of film on the water up top. So I ordered these two, plus the bubbler. And when I did that, it kind of completely got rid of the film. So kind of wish I had some before for you guys to see, but unfortunately I don't. But we fixed that problem. Let's go over what we got in the tank. As you can see, we have those Otocinclus. I just call them auto cats. They are basically catfish that are pretty safe to be with shrimp. And the whole point of this tank is just a shrimp tank, you know. I have these green and blue dream shrimp in here. So those are the blue. It is very hard, unfortunately, I found out after starting this tank, to locate all the shrimp. I'd say, here we go. Nice little green one right here. I like the darker green ones. Unfortunately, I think they might have already bred with the blue ones. There's another dark one right here floating around. They might have already bred with the blue ones, and now they're coming out lighter, which is cool. You know, we're getting a little variant. I don't know where that guy went. He's just hiding around this. Anyways, they got a cool lighter variant. coming out, and so that's kind of cool. But like I said, I prefer the darker ones. They just look really cool. There's one that basically looks like a midnight green or a super dark green. Here he is. And overall, I just wanted to kind of go over my experience. So basically I had Shrimp Up Aquatics. I don't know if you guys seen the short video, but yeah, I ordered, I want to say 20 greens, which is cool. And then I ordered 2 of the Blue Dreams. I want to say after a week or so, they just disappeared. Oh, here's an Amano shrimp. These guys eat all the algae, which is super cool. I have 3 of them. And oddly enough, they're like 3 different colors. I guess there's like 4 or 5, maybe even more different color Amano shrimp themselves. But I got that. I got the little cucumber in the back. They kind of just pick at that all day. I have the horn snails. That's the only snails I will ever keep in here. I had an explosion in my son's tank. We can go over that later. Look at this dark green one right here too. Super cool. Okay, so back to the story. So I ordered from Shrimp Up Aquatics. I get about 30 shrimp. It was roughly $90 after this huge discount. I think it was like 30%. Not an ad, just one that I found from ChatGPT. Anyways, so I make this order. Okay, a couple days go by. Me and my son have a great time. We're looking for all the shrimp. We find them, and I kind of noticed they start like not necessarily disappearing, but they're just harder to find. And then I find them places like this, kind of in there, right? And I'll find them literally underneath there. Oops, sorry. I'll find them underneath like that. Look. They're just hiding, okay? And then I'll go over the tunnel system in a little bit. But anyways, so they're just like harder and harder to find. And I'm like, man, what is going on with the shrimp? They're just, I didn't want to say it, but I was like, are they disappearing? So a couple weeks go by, still see hardly any shrimp. And I think, you know what? This is a huge tank. It's 120 gallons. Usually people have 20-gallon tanks with hundreds of shrimp. So I said, I probably just need more shrimp. But I couldn't find any green shrimp, and I didn't want to pay another $100+. So I found someone local, and they were selling some more Blue Dream shrimp. So I said, hey, you know what? I'll have 40 blue ones because they're a lot easier to spot. And then I'll have 20 green ones. I'll have a total of 50. Should be easier to find, right? Cool. So I get the shrimp, put them in. A lot of them are super small, like babies. Okay, cool. Again, I can see them for the first couple of days. Everything's going great. And then a week goes by, and it's like there's none. And then I started to see a couple of these, and I started to get a little concerned that my filter was maybe like eating them up and spitting them out. But as you can see, this one right here, pretty much a hollow shell. That's just the normal, if you don't know, that's just the normal routine that they go through when they molt. Okay, so that's a molt. Here's another one right here, super translucent, just hollow, nothing to it, you know. And that's what they do. They're kind of like snakes in that sense that they shed, you know. And also, before I go any further, I just want to say that this is my experience. I'm in no means a professional. I don't want you guys to take my advice. I'm just kind of documenting my experience so that you guys can see and maybe answer any questions. If you have any, I can tell you what I know on YouTube. And I would say, you know, definitely do your own research. But for me, this is just kind of cool to document. And maybe people can see. And if you guys enjoy, let me know. But yeah, so going on, I do have these Ember tetras as well. None of this is scripted, guys. I kind of just go by what I'm feeling as I'm making the video. But anyways, so back to the story. I started seeing these little molts, and I think, okay, well, that could be good. And it could be bad. You know, I don't think that they're getting chewed up and spit out by the return. But like I said, I went to go do maintenance, and sure enough, there was probably 20 shrimp in here alone, which is just the filter area. So you can see the water flows through this side right here, okay? And I did have it raised before I had these, and when I had all 3 pumps going, I had this raised to where shrimp could just fly in. I didn't think of anything of it. I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal. But like I said, I went to clean out this filter floss that's in there, and there was like 20+ shrimp in there, and on the other side was the same thing. So that was really eye-opening, you know. So I went ahead and ordered the sponge filters because that's what everyone says is the best thing to have, which I don't disagree at all. I was just trying to run it, you know, with what I had already, and it was a pretty cheap purchase. I went ahead and got the large. So in this giant tank, these are the large. I want to say, you know, they're a little bigger than fist size, maybe, depending on your fist, obviously. But yeah, they're pretty good size. But being that they're black, they have kind of like a darker tube, even though it's clear. They got the dark cylinders around it, and then they have the black tubing that I bought separately with it. It kind of blends into the back, especially for a black background. So it doesn't bother me at all, personally. I know some people hate seeing these kind of filters inside the tank, which granted, I would say up until this point too, I would prefer not to have something like that. But at this point, with the problem that I was going through, not being able to locate shrimp, these things attract all the shrimp. So it's pretty cool. You know, I get all kinds of shrimp. Here's a little baby guy just swimming around. What? Damn, they come and go so quick. But oh, there we go. It's just hard to track them, especially with the camera. There's that little guy. Anyways, so they're all over the place, you know, now. And I went ahead and scooped all of them out as much as I could, got them out of that back chamber, got these things hooked up right away. And at this point now we're pretty good. So there's a couple other things I wanted to go over real quick too. I think another reason that all these shrimp might have got so scared was because of all the fish. I added 11 Otocinclus and I added 11 Ember tetras. I do plan to add 11 or 12 chili rasboras, and then I also plan to add, and I know everyone's going to say, hey, they're going to eat all the shrimp, all this. I mean, we'll see. I'm kind of willing to experiment with it. I know that they will probably eat the baby shrimp for sure, but once I get a colony of like 100 plus, which I think I already have at this point, I'm going to get 11 glass catfish, and those things are super cool. So I can't wait to get those. It is another type of catfish, but these kind of stay in the water column as opposed to these guys where they're just on the glass. And as you can see, this guy's just enjoying the heck out of the sponge filter. But yeah, so these guys will swim around and they just look super cool. I had never seen them before until recently, and you know, I've been looking it up, and they shouldn't be too much danger to the full grown shrimp. But there's the blue one, pretty nice. But they are definitely a danger to the fry, the little baby shrimp, and I know that. So we'll kind of go from there and take it as it goes. It's just a fish that I really want in here. I feel like it'll kind of tie together the whole ecosystem that I'm creating. But now, we're going to go a little bit back in time to when the tank started. I might have went over this when I was first starting the tank, and I might not have. But I created this awesome tunnel system that I got from someone else's YouTube video. It was definitely different, and you know, I kind of put my own spin on it, but I did get this idea from someone else, so this is not mine specifically, but I kind of took it and put my own spin on it. What I did was I created, look at this little guy. There are a bunch of shrimp in here. I created this little habitats to where they could stay in here and not have to worry about fish or anything eating the shrimp or the babies, you know. The problem with that is that they don't necessarily go in there to mate, and every now and then there will be a fish that kind of gets stuck in there and they kind of freak out. So it's not ideal, and I'm assuming that that's maybe why they don't want to breed in there. You know, there could be plenty of reasons, but I just assume that's one of the main reasons, is that you get a fish in there and it starts spazzing because it can't find its way out. Look, here's a perfect example. Look at this little Ember tetra. He snuck in there. He's stuck at this point, right? It'll take him a good couple hours to get out. I've seen this happen quite a few times, especially with these guys, these Otocinclus or Autocats, whatever. They have a hard time getting out as well. But yeah, so that guy's kind of just stuck there. You already seen some of the shrimp in there. There's not a lot at this point, but all day today there were a bunch in there. Yeah, so what I did was I created that out of some acrylic. I cut it, made an L shape, and then I got a drill and I drilled these holes right here. So these holes allow them to go in and out if they're smart enough to use it. That guy's not. Eventually he will. And so before any of the fish or shrimp are in here, I put in hundreds of pods. You can see, look, there's these pods, just and by pods I mean isopods, freshwater. They just bred in here like crazy. Plenty of food for the shrimp to eat, and crazy enough too, these, I believe they're called detritus worms. Let me see if I can get one on camera. Very hard to see, but man, some of them get pretty big. I left a piece of food in there that none of the shrimp were eating. It kind of got moldy. And then I seen probably 100 of these, like tentacles, arms, little worms, but apparently they're detritus worms, from the research that I could do. They are very large for detritus worms, so they might be something else. If you guys know, leave me a comment and let me know, hey, that's not detritus worms, it's actually something bad. But anyways, yeah, so I kind of created an ecosystem in here for these shrimp before I even started putting any shrimp, any fish, or anything like that. Another question that I have, if anyone's still watching at this point and they can answer, I got all these white dots just kind of almost looking like salt. And I know it's not ick because it's not all over the fish, thank God. But yeah, it kind of looks like ick. I hate even saying that word. And salt just all over the wood for some reason. Not everywhere, but definitely on the wood. And this is more recent, so don't really know what that's coming from or what it is, but yeah, kind of weird. So if you guys know what that is, let me know. But I think that's pretty much the whole thing. The last thing I'm gonna do is turn on the light here and show you guys that that bubbler, because what I did was I bought this bubbler, and I'll go ahead and show you guys in a minute. It's pretty dang cool, because I have a lot of power outages in my area, and I'm not necessarily too worried about the temperature for the tank, but I am worried about keeping the tank oxygenated and, you know, the filter going too. So what I did was I bought this bubbler off of Amazon. It was $70, so it is pretty damn pricey, but in my opinion, if something, you know, that costs $70, which is less than the Ember tetras, it was less than the Autocats, can save the tank and keep everything thriving, then I personally think it's worth it. It was less than the shrimp. You know, when I ordered my first batch of shrimp, that was $100 roughly, give or take, and that's just for 30 shrimp. So yeah, I would say having, you know, almost 90, 100 plus in here now is definitely worth kind of having a lifeline if the power goes out, knowing that my power goes out all the time now. If you've maybe experienced 1 or 2 power outages in the last 3 years, sure, but I've experienced at least 10 every year, and that's just because it gets so hot here. But like I said, I'm not too worried about the temperature in the house, because in time, you know, it'll go back on and it doesn't get super, super crazy hot in the house, thankfully. But anyways, all right, so let me just get the lights on real quick. Give me a second. Okay. So, excuse my rat's nest, and what that is just the wires. But the whole tank is empty down here as far as sump. There's no kind of filtration down here. It's really just open space. And this right here is the Higer. I can't remember what model. It's the Higer bubbler, but I'm just going to show you guys what it does. So as you can see, the bubbles are going, and this is on. This is the plug right here. It's plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and simulate a power outage. So as you can see, power goes off. This thing goes into battery mode automatically. So cool. You don't have to do anything. Look at this right here. See the battery? Fully charged. It's got a smart battery on it, or at least it says it does. So it's not constantly charging when it's fully charged. It stays on. You can turn up the bubbles. We're going to do that for a quick second. Not very long because I don't like to have them that high. But you can turn up the bubbles. You can manually change the flow on each one. I only have 2 on, one on the left, one on the right. It comes with this, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total 6 different airlines you can hook up. If you have different tanks next to each other, you could hook up 6 different airlines and completely save 6 different tanks with 1 sponge filter in each. And I know that would suffice for at least a power outage. You know, haven't seen how long this lasts. You know, obviously the higher you turn it, the more energy you're going to be wasting. So there is that. But okay, so it's been off. It's still unplugged. Plug is completely off, right? It's still going, and as you can see, without changing anything or doing anything, this thing is just flowing, pumping plenty of oxygen, still filtering the tank, and that's why I got it. So kind of already proven itself many times. I think I've had 3 power outages already with this. Came home, 0 casualties. Look at all these guys. Yeah, baby green ones just out. Like I said, they're a lot lighter, you know. And I know there's a thing called like culling, like the process. I do know about that with shrimp. I do know that you kind of take out the lighter ones and keep the darker ones, or take out the darker ones and keep the lighter ones to preserve like the genetics of the colors. So I do know that, but me personally, with having this giant tank and just wanting shrimp in general, not really caring too much, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cull a huge 120 something gallon tank. But yeah, man, there's just so many shrimp in here now. Look at that giant green one. But yeah, there's so many shrimp in here now. Living pretty happy, man. Just like flowing all over the place. And I'm so relieved and happy to see that, you know, I didn't waste a couple, or at least 150 bucks on all these shrimp, thankfully. And they are definitely breeding, so that is cool. There is one large green one in here that I know for sure is pregnant or buried. I believe that's how you say it when they have little shrimplets. But you could tell by her behavior. I wanted to catch it on film for you guys so you could see. What she's doing is she's kind of like fanning. Oh, is this her? Let me see. She's like fanning. This might be her. Let's go from the side. Her back tail, you can see, is just fanning the little baby shrimp to keep them oxygenated or whatever it may be. I've seen a couple videos where that's how you know when a darker colored shrimp is carrying babies. So I believe she is. We'll see. Oh, look, here's this other huge Amano shrimp. Look at that bad boy. So they go down there, and look, there's a little baby shrimp. I know some people are worried about keeping these two together. I've watched a couple videos. Everyone says they seem to be safe. I have never seen any real aggression towards each other. What I have seen is this guy's already going for food, and then this guy comes up and scares the living crap out of him, and so they'll just leave. You know, they won't stay next to each other. I have seen them eat next to each other too, though. So, like I said, no real aggression. Like, this guy's not sitting here chasing them off, and neither is this one over here. That's two. See how they're different? Same, but different. That guy's super light. This guy's got a different color to him. Like a yellowish kind of, like a tan. I don't know. Different color to him. Sorry, the camera's not wanting to focus. Anyways, so yeah. Like I was saying, they're not really bothering anything. This shrimp, I believe, is pregnant, and hopefully, you know, she breeds and has another like 30 plus little baby green shrimp, and hopefully none of them go through here anymore. I am a little worried about the hole, but we'll see what happens. There used to be space. I don't want to cause it and create it and have a shrimp accidentally flow through there again, so I keep it completely closed. I keep that other one off. Now we have plenty of flow with this guy. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in before I forget the bubbler. So, yeah, just come back here. You don't have to do anything to get it to go from battery to plug. Watch. You just go here. Sorry, I'm trying to do this while looking through the camera. Okay, so plug it back in. Boom. Continues to operate as normal. It's charging again, as you can see. Once it's fully charged, it'll stop blinking and be good. So I turn this down. This is off to the left, completely off. Still charging. Cool. I barely turn it on. That's it. Leave it right there. I open the valves on the left and right, completely open. And then I go ahead and this is the result. So like I said, there's different models on Amazon. This is from Higer, the bubbler. And then this is from Aquarium Co-op. I think together this is probably one of the best combinations of equipment you can have for your shrimp. Still kind of new, so that's just my opinion off of research and YouTube and other people, local shrimp breeders that I've talked to. But yeah, so this is what I got going on so far. Let me know what you guys think. Any comments about the little white spots? Any comments about glass catfish? If you've ever seen them, they're super cool. Just tell me what you guys think so far. If you guys want to see anything else or have any other questions on the tank itself. I know a lot of people really like this tank, and there's not many videos on this tank. So if you have any questions about the tank, please let me know. I can make a whole video dedicated to it. But yeah, and I know this was a longer one, so thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you.